Space, the final frontier. For eons, mankind has gazed up at the stars, wondering what lies out there. As our technological capabilities grew, we ventured out of our home planet into the unknown, exploring the cosmos. Now, join us as we take a trip to Proxima Centauri, the nearest star to our sun.
Go. Hi, we are Team NUS and our mission is named Project Iocularis. Firstly, I'll be presenting on the mission concept.
And secondly, I'll be presenting the pros and cons of manned versus unmanned spacecraft.
Thirdly, I'll be presenting on the moral issues on long-term confinement.
Lastly, I'll be talking about the life support.
After all, what could possibly go wrong with flying a metal tin can stuffed with living humans to a star 40 trillion kilometers away? Well, not only would an astronomical amount of fuel be required to propel the spacecraft, but it would have to move at the right speed through an unknown, possibly dangerous environment. Well, not to worry, as we have the answer to these problems.
Firstly, I'll be talking about the mission concept. The mission to Proxima Centauri will consist of two phases, an unmanned mission and a manned mission. Phase 1, the unmanned mission, will be done with light sails. The idea is to attach light and small pieces of scientific equipment onto sails made of reflective material like multi-layered dielectrics, and then use a laser, which could be Earth-based or in space, to accelerate the spacecraft. This idea comes with its challenges. Firstly, atmospheric effects could reduce the focus of the laser and also decrease its intensity. Constructing the laser in space, while expensive, could be the best way to reduce such effects. The solar system is also filled with tiny particles of dust with high speed. There is no feasible way to shield the sails due to our mass constraint. Hence, we can use high redundancy and create many copies of the spacecraft to ensure critical pieces of equipment and instrumentation arrive functionally. We will also be approaching Proxima at a high speed, potentially a significant fraction of the speed of light. Hence, deceleration upon arriving will be required for sufficient time to study the system, preferably even entering an orbit around Proxima. This can be done by pointing the light sails at Proxima Centauri and using the radiation pressure to decelerate. Next, phase 2 will be done by black hole propulsion. The concept is to reflect Hawking radiation produced by a micro black hole and use the momentum imparted to propel the spacecraft. By adjusting the size of the mirror and hence proportion of radiation reflected, we can control the acceleration of the spacecraft. Such a black hole can have a lifespan of around 100 years, which is sufficient for this trip, and provides us with a constant acceleration of around 0.1 to 1 g, which is limited due to humans. The main challenge of this will be creating the black hole. This is currently infeasible, but our understanding of gravity at quantum scales is quite poor, and the technology for creating such black holes could emerge while phase 1 is underway. The evaporation of the black hole could also be destructive. However, this can be solved by detaching both the black hole and the mirror before it evaporates, allowing it to accelerate away by itself. As can be seen, a mass of around 10 to the power 8 kg for the black hole will result in reasonable values for the evaporation time and the force. However, force increases quickly as the black hole evaporates, hence we would like for the black hole's lifespan to be much longer than the mission duration.
I'm Septimus and I'll be presenting manned versus unmanned space missions. So a summary of comparison, for manned mission is more costly because we need to support the life on board. It's also riskier because we need to maintain the functioning of such life support systems. But manned missions are more adaptable because humans can make complex decision making on the spot. Whereas for unmanned mission, for the cost, is mainly on the extensive planning and automation. And secondly, the flexibility will not be as much as manned mission because they largely follow pre-programmed instructions. So ultimately, both of them will have to complement each other for space exploration.
The effective rectification of the multifarious astroethical issues presented by the extended habitation of a confined environment can be tripartition between the allocation of resources, end-of-life issues, and the psychological well-being of the inhabitants. Firstly, the dependency of the equal allocation of resources on the disparate needs of various individuals within the community, example, older individuals or those with specialized needs. Furthermore, the resources required to handle the natural death of individuals would also need to be balanced with those prioritized for the continuation of the mission, like palliative care. The dignity of these individuals would also need to be respected in accordance with sociological norms of the community. Lastly, the psychological well-being of the individuals would have to be protected via activities such as sociological bonding sessions and mental health support.
Let's not forget about sustaining our human passengers as well. Through our hybrid closed-loop life support systems, we can provide for the needs of our human passengers with 4 main subsystems. Firstly, microgreens will be grown as a food crop in compact astrocultural systems due to their high nutrient density and low water requirements. Secondly, human waste will be used to fertilize the microgreen growth process to provide the bacterial and plant cultures with a readily available source of nutrients. Thirdly, using an amine metal catalytic system, water can be regenerated from carbon dioxide and hydrogen gas, which can then be electrolyzed to produce oxygen gas. Lastly, in order to address the issue of spaceflight osteopenia or bone degradation, regular provisions of teriparatide and calcium supplements could be provided to fortify the skeletal systems of the human passengers against cosmic radiation and microgravity.
These are our references. Thank you.